What is happening, people? It is your boy Jack, and do you notice something's a little bit different? The quality is a little bit better. Yeah, I actually got the camera. I'm not just recording off of this phone anymore. We're rocking a Sony Alpha 5100, baby. Now we got the camera, we got the tripod, we got the microphone. You want to see it? Boom, there is the microphone. Now you can't see it again. I have a green screen as well. I don't even know why I need this or when I'm going to use it, but I have one. I just don't have anywhere to put it yet. But anyway, today we're going to be speaking about the one and only, everybody's favourites, Delta Airlines. I've spent like the last hour to an hour and a half reading through the transcripts of their Q1 earnings meeting. I also just watched a video from CNBC of the CEO speaking about it. And you know that we love Delta Airlines on this channel, so of course I'm going to make a video on it. And just really quickly, I have to thank all you guys once again. I was hoping to hit 1500 subs by Monday. It is now Thursday and we are only 5 subs away. You guys are just killing it. If you're not a part of our little investing family, hit that red button right now. Why not? And just tap the like button while you're down there, baby. But obviously, guys, Q1 earnings coming out is massive. We all expect it to be absolutely terrible, but just how bad is it going to be, and what changes have happened in the last few months? You know, how long can we survive? What do we expect to happen next? How long are they just going to be burning through cash? That's what we're going to figure out today. This right here is what we're going to be spending most of today's video on. Delta Airlines Inc. Q1 2020 earnings called transcript. Okay, this is where we're going to spend most of our time, but let's just have a little bit of a recap on where Delta is and how they've done lately. First thing we're doing is just having a look at their stock, and we can see that they're still in a very bad place. They're pretty much at their lows. We were up around the $60-ish mark, you know, for quite a while, a couple of months, a good few months at the very least, and then boom, everything happened. The world happened, the virus happened, you know yourself, nobody's flying, and we're down as low as about 21.35, and we're currently sitting at 22.61. So obviously a dire position to be in. We can see here that on the 3-month stock chart, they're down about 62% overall still. So they're definitely not performing as well as the market as a whole. So it goes without saying, it's not the nicest stock chart in the world right now, but everybody knows that, everybody expects that. It's not Delta's fault. Every single airline is going to look like this. Every single, you know, cruise line is going to look like this. People aren't and physically cannot travel. But this here gives so much useful information. It really lets us know what Delta are actually doing, you know, to combat this, what their plans are going forward. It's amazing for us investors to have something like this. And a lot of companies are going to be bringing out their Q1 earnings very, very soon, if they haven't done already, which is going to give us loads more insight into what's to come. So you'll see there is an awful lot here, and I did read pretty much all of it. And I got caught up in reading all of it, so I didn't decide to, you know, screenshot the useful parts. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go through it. I'm going to find all of the useful parts again, and we'll speak about them. So these words are coming from the CEO himself. Our response has been focused on 3 priorities. First, protecting the health and safety of all of our employees and customers. Standard. Second, preserving our financial liquidity to work through this crisis. That's the main focal point of today. That's what us investors need to know. We need to know, can they survive? Will they file bankruptcy? Will our shares become nothing? And thirdly, again, very important for us, is ensuring we're well positioned to recover once the virus is contained, and building a plan to accelerate our progress through this period of recovery. That is obviously what we want to see. And you'll see very shortly that they are taking measures, you know, to back all of these points up. They're not just saying it for good publicity. This is actually what they're doing. So I spoke about this only a few days ago, but anyway, on Monday we received 2.7 billion of the 5.4 billion that's expected over the next few months. Awesome, fantastic. Since early March, they've raised 5.4 billion in new financing and will likely raise several billion more this quarter. In the video I watched, they said they expect to have more than 10 billion in liquid cash the end of June. And that is at the very least. Ideally, they actually want to have more. Next up, they've taken actions to reduce their cost base by over 50% for the June period. That's a $5 billion reduction over the previous year, which is very impressive, especially with how quickly it's all had to be implemented. And pretty much from everything that they've done, they've reduced their daily cash burn, which started at 100 million a day in March, down to 50 million a day starting next month in May. So absolutely excellent. We have to keep in mind that they are flying 95% less. They literally have about 5% of their normal carrier load right now. And that 5% is pretty much just, you know, for essential workers, picking up PPE gear, bringing it from China to the US, things along those lines. So there still is some flights going, but there's 95% less passengers. So that cash burn needs to be brought down as low as possible. Paul Jacobson, their Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. Our March quarter pre-tax loss of 422 million was 1.3 billion lower than last year, and it was their first quarterly loss in almost a decade. So obviously losing 422 million in a quarter is not good news whatsoever. But again, in a more positive light, here is how they are bringing their cost burn down so much. So parked more than 650 aircraft to get optimal maintenance savings. Eliminated the majority of discretionary spending for things like contractors and advertising. as should be done. Implemented a hiring freeze and reduced work hours across the business. And 37,000 Delta employees have volunteered to take unpaid leave of absence, some of these ranging from a month, some up as far as a year. So far, I'm delighted with absolutely everything I'm seeing. I am a Delta investor. I love the company, I'm invested in them, I want them to do well, and everything I'm seeing is promising. These actions result in savings of approximately $550 million in June quarter alone. They only had a loss of $422 million the last quarter, so that's excellent. It's massive savings, absolutely massive savings. Combined with $2 billion in lower fuel expense from reduced flying and lower fuel prices, they expect a $5 billion reduction in total operating expenses for the June quarter. Boom! That's beautiful. That's what we want to see. And so things look good now. And what's good for Delta is they haven't played all of their cards yet. We went into this crisis with more than $20 billion in unencumbered, that's a weird word, assets and low debt levels. Unencumbered. We've raised $5.4 billion of new financing at an average rate of just under 4%. That's an excellent rate to be getting right now. And they have more things that they can do. The list includes raising additional debt against our remaining unencumbered assets, also eligible for a $4.6 billion secured loan under the CARES Act. Boom, awesome, fantastic, lovely. They've gotten lots of money at relatively low interest rates, and if they need more money, they have the means to get more money. So these are the most important points of this entire thing. It goes on forever and ever, but these are the most important points. They're effectively reducing their cash burn by 50%. Absolutely amazing. They're putting all of their resources into just surviving. But not only are they just surviving, they're making sure that they have a plan in place so that once they are up and running again, once they are flying again, they can get profitable very, very quickly. They're fighting, you know what I mean? They're fighting as hard as they can to not only survive this, but come out on top on the other side, which is amazing to see. After doing the research I've done today, my confidence in Delta has only gone up. I was really worried about reading this because I am invested in Delta and I was worried that it was going to seem really bleak. Now it essentially goes into a Q&A and they just answer loads of questions, but the large majority of them have already been answered. I don't understand why these people are asking these questions, but it is what it is. I've just spent a solid 15 minutes looking at the questions again, and no, we don't need to cover any of them. They've all been answered. We have all of the useful information. But after this information coming out, Delta's definitely in a better position than we thought they were. Well, at least they're in a better position than I thought they were. And if I was happy to invest in them before, I'm definitely happy to invest in them now. What I want to take some time to say is that does not mean that you should invest in them. I'm actually going to make a big point of this today. If you're watching my channel, I'm sure you know who this guy is. Jeremy from Financial Education. Yesterday, he put up a video. Why I just put 30,000 into this oil tanker stock. Big return on investment opportunity. Now, I love this guy. I know there's a lot of mixed opinions on him. I love watching his videos. You'll see that I've watched an awful lot of them. I really do love his stuff. But what happened is when he put this video up, after hours, this stock went up. It's currently up 8.81%. I think it was over 12% in the after hours sometime. And he made a follow-up video after speaking about why this happened, and it was largely because of him. There was no reason a move like this should have happened. I absolutely love investing, and I love making these videos so much, but I think it's my due diligence to make sure that nobody invests in a stock just because of me. I would feel terrible if somebody invested a lot of money in a stock, like Delta for example, and Delta did horribly and a person ended up losing loads of money because they watched one of my videos. So I just want to make it really clear that whether it's me, Jeremy, or anybody else on the internet, don't buy a stock just because somebody else does. Please, please, please always do your own research. Don't just be a sheep. Don't just click the buy button because one person on the internet who you think is quite smart decides to buy them. And don't take this as hate towards Jeremy. He was just doing what he does. He was making his videos. It was a great video. I love his videos, and he did the right thing by addressing it in a whole video that this is not what you should do. Here is the follow-up video. Guys, seriously, the oil tanker stock, nah, it was up 12.2% after market. If you watch that video, you will just see. I know in every video I say I'm not a financial advisor, blah blah blah. I just really wanted to point it out in this one. You know what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get a mug custom ordered that says I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm going to have it in every single video. And it's not only to cover our own backs, it's because we genuinely don't want you guys to buy stocks just because we speak about them. But anyway, Delta. That's all of the information I want to speak about today. Where do I stand? I'm a lot happier than I was a week ago, I'll put it that way. And I was happy a week ago. I've said it in previous videos, Delta is like one of the outliers in my portfolio. In general, I only like investing in the really big, safe blue chip stocks. Now, Delta, yes, is definitely a blue chip stock, but the Johnson & Johnsons, the Procter & Gamble's, the biggest of the safest big companies. The thing about those companies is they don't grow particularly quickly. I could see Delta having immense growth potential, so I'm going to put aside a certain amount of my capital to companies like Delta. Maybe even Carnival if I'm feeling extra cheeky one day, but I don't see it happening. I'm recording this on the Mac just so that we can see how much worse quality this is compared to the camera. Oh my god. My plan, as always, is the dollar cost average. I'm definitely more confident in the company than I was only a couple of days ago. I am going to certainly buy some more shares of these. I'm not buying many stocks at all right now just because of how uncertain I am in regards to what the market's going to do next. But Delta will be one of very few stocks that I will purchase a little bit of here and there. But as I just said, always do your own research. Don't just listen to me, man. Look at me. Look at me, I'm a 22-year-old kid in a hoodie. I have a giraffe behind me. Look at that collection of whiskey. Does that look like a collection that somebody you should be taking financial advice from has? No, it's a good collection though. But anyway guys, I do sincerely hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here. We are growing so fast, baby. I appreciate you all so much. And until the next one guys, have a great day. Peace.